So we're looking for ways to really enhance not only just the institutional investors, but also the smaller investors who are international or here in the United States who want to, for the first time, buy some quality real estate. When you think about it, a lot of these next gens would not be buying houses. So buying real estate and building a portfolio will allow them the opportunity to buy any house they want in the future, rather than buying an initial house and putting all their energy and capital into that house and not being able to expand. So it's financial freedom.
Alrighty, everybody, what is going on? Welcome back to another Wealth 28 Club Friday podcast. I'm your host, Cypress, here with my co-host, Mr. Aquaman. In today's video breakdown, we're going to be diving into the future of investing by utilizing digital assets like XRP and many others out there in the DeFi ecosystem, where we're heading into a future where selling your digital assets will no longer be the only option. Right, we're going to be able to remain liquid in the DeFi ecosystem. We're entering into this DeFi era where, like I said, you can stay liquid while your assets work for you. From real-world asset tokenization to fractional ownership of things like real estate, the game is changing super fast and not enough people are paying attention. So we're going to consistently provide good fundamental value, institutional insights, and researched back panel discussions from some of the largest organizations in the game, showing you guys that this is all happening at a rapid pace, while also listening to people that you guys know in this space. For example, David Schwartz and many other individuals from Ripple and so on and so forth in today's video breakdown. So this is going to be a good one, man. Aqua, what's going on, brother? How are you today?
Man, I'm feeling good, bro. Nice sunny day over here where I'm at, and I'm feeling great, bro. Feeling great.
All right, well, let's jump in. We got 200 people on the call. We do appreciate you guys for tapping in with us. So we got a lot of stuff to go over and just share. So I really want to start here and take a listen to a couple of video breakdowns to just kind of set the tone, okay? And Aqua, we can pause these in between. One of them is about 30 or 40 seconds, so we won't need to pause that one. But then there's another one that I want to play that's about 6 minutes long, and it's this specific, just set the tone pace on real estate, real world asset tokenization, how we're going to be able to invest alongside multi-millionaire billionaires that invest in these real estate properties that were otherwise not available or accessible to us as retail investors in years prior. And now that's all changing for the first time ever, where fractional ownership is becoming a thing. We're going to be able to buy real estate and many other investments with crypto. And we're entering into an era where you're not going to want to exit crypto. You're going to want to learn how to stay liquid in the crypto ecosystem, active in the DeFi ecosystem, putting your assets to work and not having to sell for the old outdated fiat system that we're all trying to move out of, which everything is coming on chain in the next consecutive couple of years. I know it might sound crazy now saying that, but if you're an avid researcher and you've been paying attention to the right things, you know that I'm not lying, right? You know that is happening. It's coming. It's just a matter of when, not if.
I think what Anthony was talking about in terms of it's not around the technology anymore, we're really at a pivotal moment in terms of the scale at which DLT is going to be used. Rachel Reeves announced in her Mansion House speech in November 2024 that the UK would be issuing a digital gilt. Larry Fink, the chairman and CEO of BlackRock, wrote in his letter to investors at the beginning of 2025 that he views tokenization as sort of a key fragment of the future of the financial services industry. So we're at a time when, instead of talking about blockchain technology as a what if or could it be, it's now becoming a much more sort of accepted form of technology that people will be using as sort of things evolve and we move forward.
So we're going to be listening to this gentleman here first. His name's Edward. I don't want to butcher his last name. Nawak. Okay, I'm probably going to, so I apologize. Anyways, he's the founder and CEO of this organization called Red Swan Digital Real Estate. And so just to set the tone on who Redstone is, so for those of you guys who don't know, Redstone Digital Real Estate has pioneered the intersection of capital markets and digital securities, focusing on delivering and enhancing liquidity, inclusivity, and commercial real estate investments with a commitment to leveraging cryptocurrency payment options. We have positioned ourselves at the forefront of financial tech and real estate innovation. So that's just kind of who these individuals are. I'm not going to go too much into statistics, but they're a large player in the game in real world asset tokenization through real estate. And so just listen here to what he says. This is a quick video breakdown from about 7 months ago that myself and some of the other researchers tapped into, of this gentleman here sitting on stage, Edward, pretty much going on to talk about how we as retail investors are going to be able to sit alongside these billionaires like Bill Gates, he specifically mentions, and access real estate, again, that was otherwise previously cut off to the everyday average retail investor. So just listen here to what he says.
I could go back and say that I started my career in real estate with Cushman & Wakefield. For 17 years. I was the head of the capital markets division for Texas, and worked with a lot of institutions, a lot of buyers, a lot of sellers. And so that was the industry I was in, and those are the people I worked with, but never to the average person, right? I'm always making speed dials on 25 people and say, hey, I have this big apartment complex for sale, and they buy it. But never talking to the regular people who can really get involved in the high quality assets. Because, you know, there's different levels of assets that you can buy as an investment. There's a mom and pop shops in the corner. There's duplexes. And then there's also institutional properties like this hotel that we're sitting in. And that's what I saw when I was at Cushman & Wakefield, hotels and multifamily properties. And I think it's important, and that's why I got into this business, to really be able to break down real estate so the average person can actually be able to invest in something of quality, something they can trust, and be on the same level as Bill Gates who's investing on real estate. You can just follow what he does because now you have that access. So that's what we do with real estate tokenization. And hopefully I answered that question.
Right. So again, just a gentleman here in the space with more credentials than myself. Aqua, did you want to say anything on that?
You know, that's major. I mean, hotels is a like, when I was thinking real estate, I'll be honest with you, hotels didn't even, I mean, although I would immediately know tokenization of a hotel is possible, but, you know, I'm just thinking of like the future and like the way he described it right now. It's like, imagine, you know, I don't know, people here in California love to travel to like Las Vegas, for example. Imagine your favorite casino's hotel is tokenized, that you could, you know, possibly purchase some tokens of that favorite casino where you're earning yield on it. And, you know, you also visit the same casino. So it kind of like pays for itself in a sense. Like, I don't know, like, I'm just thinking of like, you know what I mean? Like, there's going to be just so much creativity that we're going to be able to do with our money. And, you know, you could base it around your likes and wants too. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I agree with you 100%. And then too, you know, like, I think the reason really why I wanted to bring this to everybody's attention is because this video that myself and Aqua had with the private CYPRX community about a week ago is, and I don't want to say it's trending, but it's starting to gain a lot of traction. And I feel like it's because people are really starting to wake up, which is great. It's a really good thing. That's our goal here. And vision at CYPRX is just to push as much information and valuable knowledge as possible to the general public that needs to know that this stuff is happening. And in this video here, you know, we mentioned, myself and Aqua, we went into detail on a route that could possibly become available in the future in a regulated fashion to, you know, liquid stake your XRP, take that liquid stake token, lend it out, borrow against that lent out asset, all while the liquid stake token is, or the original asset that you liquid staked is earning. The lend out that you do go through is earning. You borrow against, that's earning. And then you buy a property with the borrowed assets, and then you tokenize that property, earn yield on that, and rent it out physically. So then you earn passive income through physical tenants. And all of that's happening while at the same time you can pay back the loan and never have to sell out of your original, you know, crypto position.
Yeah, and I can talk about it from a user perspective. I think we're more still evaluating how we would integrate XRPL or XRPL EVM. I think as a user, I saw Hugo's presentation yesterday on staking. That was really interesting. I think this conference, I've seen a lot of panels around staking in general, and the concept that you can stake your XRP and get yield is phenomenal. I think that's like a really big upgrade from a user's perspective. I saw a lot of talk about the RLUSD stuff. I think XRP staking plus RLUSD, there are like many different DeFi use cases that I think will emerge. Like you could probably, you know, stake XRP, loan it, borrow against it, use RLUSD to loop it again. I think we'll see a lot of DeFi use cases come out of XRPL as well.
You're utilizing crypto to stay liquid, to stay in the crypto ecosystem. And there's so many other complexities to that, but that was just kind of the strategy that we were discussing in a nutshell. And this video got so much positive feedback. So shout out to anybody that's watching this that gave myself and Aqua a comment here. Like somebody said right at the top that that's the best educational video that I've gotten trying to learn crypto. Thanks. You know, awesome. Thanks. Explanation. Great content. Glad I found you guys today. You dudes are next level. So this is just really good stuff that I feel like a lot of people are slacking on and not paying attention to because they're so fixated on price predictions. And again, you know, if that's your only strategy, I'm not saying that it's the wrong one, but understand that everything is going digital. Everything is coming on chain. And we've been manipulated to believe that the route to success in crypto is through this instant gratification mindset. We're going to put some money in XRP. One day it's going to be $1,000. We're all going to retire and go happy, go home, sell back in the US dollar or whatever fiat currency you have in your jurisdiction and buy yourself nice materialistic things and disappear, right? And go live in the woods. Okay. But that's not like the reality that we're about to head into. We're about to head into a freaking, you know, multiverse, interoperable freaking real estate tokenization, everything tokenized, everything on the blockchain future. You're not going to not want to be a part of that, right? If you want to remain relevant, at least, in my personal opinion, if you've done your research. And so we're just here in an attempt to show you guys that it's going to be possible. But you got to do your research. You got to understand a strategy. You got to make sure that you're following the right info. So Red Swan just posted this, bro, 4 days ago. And this is going to coexist with a lot of stuff that Ripple's recently posted that I want to share with you guys in today's video breakdown. So we'll get to that part of today's video, where we specifically focus on some things that David Schwartz has recently said and things that Ripple has posted. But back to this gentleman here, because I want to play this so we can kind of talk through this video, bro. And if you want to pause it, just give me a signal. We can talk about what he says. But I want to prove to you guys, because I don't like giving any information without like really proving what I'm saying is happening. So I want to show you guys people with credentials telling you all this, and then also mentioning that, you know, millennials and Gen Zers and Gen Alpha, they're not going to know, and Gen X, excuse me. So Gen Z, Gen X, and then Gen Alpha, you know, they're not going to know what it's like to have a bank account. They're all going to be digitally native individuals that know about the metaverse and that operate with a mobile phone and an internet connection and a wallet, right? So tokenization isn't just a buzzword. This is posted from Red Swan 4 days ago. It's a practical tool that makes real estate investing accessible, flexible, and digital first. For tech-savvy millennials and Geniers, that's what they're calling Gen Zers and, you know, whatever. It's a way to diversify your portfolio, build wealth, and get closer to home ownership without usual barriers. If you've been waiting for a smarter way to invest in property, tokenization might just be it. The future of home ownership is digital, and it's ready for you to jump in. So here it mentions, why buy one house when you can build a real estate portfolio first? Red Swan Digital Real Estate CEO Edward N. explains how tokenized real estate gives the next generation a smarter path to ownership in this Green Room interview from Tokenize This 2025. So let's just listen to this interview real fast. And Aqua, we can pause it if you want, but this has got some really juicy stuff in it that are going to take us down this rabbit hole today. So let me know if you want me to pause it.
I'm Edwin Wakany. I'm the founder and CEO of Red Swan CRE. We are a full-service blockchain real estate company. What we do is we take commercial real estate, either the equity or the debt side, and fractionalize it into digital securities so that our clients can raise capital on those securities or obtain liquidity for the properties that they have. You know, there's a lot of, you know, property out there that has a lot of trapped equity. I would say if you look at the industry of investment real estate, about $75 trillion, 35%, roughly 26 trillion is locked in equity in the property. And many owners, the only way they can get that out is by selling off the property. When you sell off the property, you sell off the opportunity for future. So you have a little capital gain, but if you can pull your equity out and continue to be the GP manager, you now have the best of both worlds. You have your equity back in your pocket, and you have the management capability with waterfall profits, you know, in perpetuity. So that's this will be bringing to the marketplace. Well, Red.
Bro, I know you. What? Go ahead. I want you to start.
Bro, he's aligned with what we've been saying, bro. Like, that is like, he is absolutely right. The only way to tap into that equity is to sell the property or to call the bank and, you know, hopefully get approved for a loan where they're going to charge you an APY on your money that belongs to you. So this is major right here, bro. Man,
I'm always, when we listen to these, I'm always jotting down little key phrases. And two things that he says. One, the first thing was, we're going to be able to fractionalize things like real estate and own a piece of them pretty much. He said that users are going to be able to fractionalize real estate, right? That's going to go hand in hand with something that David Schwartz recently just said at Apex 2025. So you viewers, remember that, fractionalize ownership. Okay, that's going to go hand in hand also with something that myself and Aqua brought to your attention in previous podcasts that we've done on the Bank of International Settlements in a document from 2025 in collaboration with Ripple and PeerSyst, where they mention this individual, Alice, and they talk about her operating in this future where she's going to be able to access fractional ownership through digital wallets and smart contracts and real world asset tokenization. Okay, so just remember that. And then the second thing that he mentioned, bro, did you hear him say that this is going to lead to waterfall profits? Should I play that back? Listen to what he said.
Run that back real quick. Run that back. Run that back.
Check this out.
But if you can pull your equity out and continue to be the GP manager, you now have the best of both worlds. You have your equity back in your pocket, and you have the management capability with waterfall profits, in perpetuity. So that's this will be bringing to the marketplace.
Cash flow, baby. Cash flow. Hey, this aligns though too with that guy that you always show when I bring it up, when he was talking about the dam of liquidity that is trapped and just waiting for regulations to just be poured in. Like, this is...
Now, is it worth anything? Yes, right? This part of the conversation is called the Great Liquidity Reservoir, and I am going to struggle to convey just how much capital there is behind this regulatory dam, because the numbers are just monumental, right? How much money is there? Well, let's start with the most liquid of the liquid, right? Bank deposits, stocks, and bonds. $400 trillion. Right? Certainly more than my current retirement nest egg, and plenty of money to buy you a nice place in central London or San Francisco. Right? 400 trillion. There's another 379 trillion in real estate. Right? Gold is 13 trillion by itself. And then you get to the entire crypto ecosystem is like 2.5 trillion. Right? I'm not going to say all of this money is going into crypto, but quite a lot of it will end up in crypto, and a huge amount of it is going to end up in tokenized digital assets.
Man, this is going to be massive once this really just catches fire, and it's just, oh my God, like this is, whew.
Yeah, all the smart people in the room. I think that the post that I made, I won't pull it up because I feel like it gets so repetitive, but I mentioned that, all the smart people in the room will learn how to lend out their XRP, borrow against it, yield farm with it, liquidity provide with it. I feel real sorry for people that think that the answer to, success after this next bull market is selling for fiat. Oh my goodness gracious. You guys are in for a rude awakening if that's the reality that you're living in right now, because we're all transitioning. This new world that they're creating is going to be magnificent. You just have to study it. Go ahead, Aqua.
And everything that you just listed, you could add your real world assets now because of tokenization to that list to create cash flow. So you know what I'm saying? Like, our digital assets, absolutely. We're hang on to those bad boys. Let's get it working. Let's create strategies in this beautiful DeFi ecosystem that they're building for us. But also, too, our real world assets that we once upon a time in the past could not tap into, now we can through tokenization. Massive.
Yeah. All right. Let's give this guy another shot. Let's listen to what else he has to say here. Check this out. Let's break this down a little bit more.
But yet we've been able to bring on billions of dollars worth of assets of real estate on chain, more coming, also kind of provide thought leadership to the industry. But we've been able to create the full service capability intertwined with all the technologies necessary. So I was just talking to, like I said, MasterCard, talking about distribution and payments, and they now have the capability of doing that on blockchain with wallets. And so that enhances our business because, now as people are buying internationally, they can actually park their money into a wallet that they've downloaded from MasterCard and pull it out and do a transaction at a very, very low cost at any time. So we're looking for ways to really enhance not only just the institutional investors, but also the smaller investors who are international or here in the United States who want to, for the first time, buy some quality real estate. When you think about it, a lot of these next gens would not be buying houses. So buying real estate and building portfolio will allow them the opportunity to buy any house they want in the future, rather than buying an initial house and putting all their energy and capital into that house and not being able to expand. So it's financial freedom. It's what I'm proud of.
Financial freedom, baby. Man, dude, and what he just said is possible too right now on certain chains. Like, Lofty, we always talk about it, Lofty being one of them. I mean, you can start a real estate DeFi portfolio right now with $1 just to test it out and see, you know what I mean? To see what you're working with and what it's all about. But when you got gentlemen like this building, like, oh my God, this is great video. This is a great video so far. I am pumped.
Yeah, it is, bro. And the crazy part is this only has 73 views. You know what the sad part about all this info that we share to the general public is like, I feel like we're really at an interesting turning point where if you're paying attention to the wrong people on the internet, you're going to miss so much upside, because everybody's like, I'll give a perfect example. Like just the other day, we got some Ripple versus SEC news. Okay. And it's like, everybody starts talking about it and it starts trending and it's like the big headline for the day. And it's like, it's kind of like, who really it's not, there's so much other more important stuff in this space right now that you should be paying attention to. It's like, that's so like 2021 type vibes. Like we're in 2025, freaking XRPL, DeFi, institutional DeFi, real world asset tokenization, freaking XRPL just piloted a freaking real estate tokenization project, regulated in Dubai, like just recently. Like there's so much more. And it's like people aren't pushing past that. And this is a perfect example, bro. This is from 2 weeks ago, it has 73 views. It proves my point. Nobody's watching this stuff, bro. Nobody.
Yeah, bro, they're mixed up with the news. And when I came into crypto, I was that person too. You're wrapped up, what's the latest headline on XRP? What's everybody's opinion on it? And we gotta just stay away from all those distractions and come to what we're talking about, like what you just said. Like, we need to be concentrating on these protocols and how do we generate cash flow with our assets. There are better things to talk about in this, in the communities. Like, we got to start doing better, especially over on TikTok too. Oh my God, the TikTok lives that I run into when the XRP is the head topic. And it's just like, we need to be having discussions on how our XRP can generate cash flow. Let's pick apart different protocols. Let's talk about the team behind these protocols. Like, let's have better conversations. You know what I'm saying? Overall. So I'll give it back to you.
That's why I love the Wealth 28 Club, bro. Because on our Zoom calls throughout the week in the private community, man, we just dive so much. I find I honestly learn new things every single week. And I'm here running the research team. We find so many gems, and that we have members that say things and bring things to our attention. And it's like, holy crap, how do we miss this? So it's wild, man. Yeah, this is such a great time to be alive. And if more people aren't getting excited about this, it's like this dude literally just said financial freedom. Why would you want to ignore what this gentleman just said? It's like weird. Cash flow is king. People that learn how to generate cash flow, mark this. This could be a freaking short right here. People that learn how to generate cash flow with their digital assets in a secure and consistent fashion in 2025 and 2026 will be the ones who survive the best and the longest beyond 2030. I'm telling you guys right now, like, man, it's like, honestly, you're becoming your own bank. And that's kind of what we're transitioning into. You're becoming your own bank. It is possible. It's becoming regulated. Regulators are paying attention to it, right? Institutions are paying attention to it. And this guy just said that these services are going to be available to both retail and institutions, which is something that myself and Aqua have been saying for the longest time. This is the level playing field that Trump was talking about his last term, right? If you're in the XRP community, you most likely know what I'm talking about. There was always this term called the level playing field, right? And that is through decentralized finance.